It's the TNT Monster Truck Challenge from Roanoke, Virginia, featuring the last two world champions, USA 1 and Equalizer, and their main rivals, Gravedigger and Carolina Crusher. Stay tuned. ESPN's coverage of the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Today, the superstars of monster truck racing are in the Roanoke, Virginia Civic Center. I'm Scott Douglas, and we're going to be reviewing a big day of action with a major story unfolding. A week ago, it was the world champion Equalizer literally collapsing in Roanoke on the end of this run. Now we understand that the driver of the Equalizer, the defending driver of the year, David Morris, has walked off the team, left without a word. Here's Army Armstrong. He's with Equalizer owner Gary Cook.
We understand there's been a major change in the driver's department. Gary Cook, explain what's going on with the Equalizer team.
Well, the driver, I reckon, was unhappy because we broke 2 nights in a row, and I don't know, he went home. So Mike Wine broke his truck, so he's going to disqualify the truck today. The truck's damaged too bad to race anyhow, but we're just trying to get it, stay in the point race and try to get it down the track, but it's many parts broke, it's going to be rough.
I don't want to touch on something real touchy here on you, but a lot of people around the country have been following you and David Morris. You're a good team together. Are you telling me this team may have broken up today in Roanoke?
I don't know. He didn't say a word before he left.
The word directly from Equalizer owner Gary Cook. His driver has hit the road as the Equalizer needed major repairs after last week's run. It's ready to go again. A truck that is not the Outlaw Ford. It's done for the day with major engine problems. But as you heard Gary Cook say just a moment ago, Outlaw driver Mike Wine will drive the Equalizer today. Army is with Mike Wine now.
Mike Wine normally drives the Jersey Outlaw. That truck is down. It's not going to be in competition, but Mike Wine still has a ride. And oh, what a ride you have. We understand you're going into the Equalizer.
Yeah, I've been dying to get into a truck with a different kind of suspension just to see when I build my truck what it's going to be like, but I never expected to get into it this way, Army.
This is kind of like a kid walking into a candy shop. This is a tremendous opportunity for you.
Yes, it's going to help us out a whole lot. Well, it's also going to help Gary Cook. Let me clarify that. You got to at least go in. My motor blew up. I couldn't even get 1 point. I'm going to be able to help the man go back and at least contain 1 point or 2 points tonight by qualifying and coming back first round. It's going to help the man out. Also, it's going to help me out to learn with the new truck how to come back at the end of this year.
We'll see the Equalizer in action with Mike Wine driving. The Outlaw definitely out, and the Outlaw is not the only truck with mechanical problems. Qualifying round action was supposed to send Mopar Magic, the big Dodge of Gary Wiggins, side by side with the newly designed Wild Hair, Starvin Marvin Smith, the old stopper truck out of Arlen, Missouri, now with the new paint job, but certainly not able to go and impress the crowd today because he wasn't even able to get to the starting line. Wild Hair Cook. Here you see a drawing of Mopar Magic. He was able to make a run. This was to be his only run of the day, however. In qualifying, Mopar, bang, breaks the transmission, and he is done for the day. We'll get a look one more time at Gary Wiggins' big Dodge out of Williamston, North Carolina, and he breaks the transmission in a doubt. Chris Chapman in the pit got to talk with Gary Wiggins.
Gary Wiggins, driver of Mopar Magic, already unsuited, and he's tearing down the Mopar Magic machine. What seems to be the problem?
We messed up a training. We busted the sprag in the inside the training, so it'll never make it in the door again. So we're going back, go back home and redo the transmission and all.
How long will it take to get the machine back in top running condition?
Not long, but basically we're going to go ahead and pull the motor back out and everything. We're going to go back through the motor this week, so I figure I'll do the transmission and all too now. Just basically getting parts and all from TCI and everything.
You disappointed?
Oh, yes, definitely.
So the Outlaw, Mopar Magic, and Wild Hair are out of action in Roanoke, Virginia. Chris Chapman has moved down pit road to find Marvin Smith, the driver of the Wild Hair.
A normally always smiling Marvin Smith, not much to smile about now as he goes to the line on qualifications and had some distributor problems, I understand.
Yeah, I broke the gear off into the magneto in this thing. For some reason, it sheared the pin right off and it wouldn't fire. It fired and just quit, and that was it. I thought I'd get it running, but we couldn't get it to sit back in the right spot and get the pin in there good enough. So I guess I'm out for today.
You said that this could have been some problems with the running of the machine over the past couple of weeks. Do you think that's it?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to send the magneto back airmail tonight, air freight, and get it looked at, and hopefully get it back and have it ready for next week again. Hopefully that was it.
Good luck, Marvin.
Thank you.
For the first time ever on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge, a woman takes the wheel. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. A woman is about to make history on the circuit. Earlier, Army talked with that woman, the driver of Thunder Chicken, Karen Pencil.
Sport of professional monster truck racing has always been dominated by men, but that may change right now, as Karen Pencil will be the first young lady to actually compete for the World Championship points. And at this minute, Karen, this has got to be kind of a spooky time for you.
Yes, it is, Army. I'm pretty nervous right now.
Well, you made some qualifying runs or practice runs in the truck a few minutes ago. A lot of the male drivers saw you and said, hey, she knows what she's doing. So the only problem seems to be in your mind right now. Everybody else realizes you can drive these trucks.
I felt pretty good on my second trial run there, and I'm going to go for it. I'll give him a race.
Okay, now you're going to be driving the truck that's normally driven by Kid Rory. You know the truck is competitive. You know you've got a good vehicle underneath you. You know, could this be the start of a new profession for you? Could you be the first world champion lady in a monster truck division?
Yeah. How's that?
I don't think it gets any more positive than that right now. All you girls out there, stay tuned. She could be the one that does it.
Not today, though, Army. We can already see she's got huge problems with the Thunder Chicken. Trying to stage for the first round of racing, she is in absolute arm-to-arm combat with that steering wheel. She can't seem to get it turned.
Here we go.
She's scheduled to go head-to-head with a rookie, Ken Deppy, and the Whiskey Business GMC out of Jefferson City, Missouri. And this is not the way Karen wanted to start in the Thunder Chicken with an ill-handling truck. She has it staged, however, and we're ready to go racing. Whiskey Business side by side with the woman, Thunder Chicken, and she did not get out of the gate at all. Easy win for Ken Deppy's Whiskey Business, but on the end of the run, Whiskey Business might have had some problems. That Thunder Chicken is disqualified. Let's watch the replay. Here's Whiskey Business. Watch the end of the run. Bang. And then another wrap on the front axle, and Whiskey Business is broken. He'll be out. Thunder Chicken actually crossed in front onto the other lane, so Karen Pencil is disqualified. So she's made the first run, but it was a tough one for her. She'll be out and not allowed to come back because of the DQ, and Whiskey Business is definitely out because of the breakage. Let's watch it from the end of the track, and you can see Karen Pencil leaving her lane. Automatic disqualification. Chris Chapman has found Karen Pencil in the pit to see what she thought about that first round of racing in TNT Monster Truck Challenge competition as you get a look at the Whiskey Business GMC now on the hook.
I'm with Karen Pencil, who stepped into the Thunder Chicken as the first woman ever to challenge the TNT Monster Truck Challenge circuit. And she challenged it in a very definite way, stepping in with no steering.
Yeah, the steering belt came off and I had no steering at all. I had no way to control it, but I did what I could.
What in the world was going through your mind? Why did you go on and do it? You knew you had no steering.
I thought I could handle it, but I just couldn't steer it at all.
Will we see Karen Pencil back?
Oh, sure. And with steering. Thank you, Chris.
No, this is not a car show where we're trying to give you a look at the big engine on the True Value USA 1 monster truck. He's actually going to go into competition. Why does he look this way? A week ago, it was USA 1 head over heels. And for those of you who followed the circuit for a couple of years, that's a familiar sight. What's unfamiliar is the driver on his roof. Steve Wilkie doing his best Rod Lipsow imitation. We'll give it to you one more time. Roanoke, Virginia, and USA 1 upside down. Steve Wilkie flipping the truck for the first time after Rod Lipsow did it several times in the past. Army talked with Wilkie earlier about the flip.
Well, for those of you that follow monster truck racing, not an unfamiliar sight behind me. A crumpled 2-value hardware USA 1 truck. Steve Wilkie, 24 hours ago, it was a beautiful truck. Now, beaten and banged up. You guys have been thrashing. Can you get this thing going again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, thanks to the guys back at the shop, Greg Knudsen and Mark Gerard, my crew chief here. We thrashed almost all night, and we've got permission to run it 100%.
So, the awesome, fearful phone call home to Everett Jasmer. So I would love to be an operator in his hometown when that phone call comes through on Saturday night. He's had some spooky phone calls. But this one, I have no idea what you could have done different with the bounce of the truck was wrong or something. You look like you were just along for the ride.
Well, I mean, again, as we said, you know, after it happened there, you have to be able to jam the throttle to the floor, drive that front end out. The wall comes up awful fast, but I believe that I was at fault. And this fearful phone call to Mr. Gasmer Everett here, the thing about Everett, I have a lot of respect for him. He asked if we're all right, and if we're all right, can we put the truck back together? And if we can, let's run.
So it'll be a beat-up world champion from 1988 meeting the beat-up world champion from 1989. The 88 champ USA 1 versus the 89 champ Equalizer. Both trucks have new drivers. A moment ago, Chris Chapman asked Mike Wine how his qualifying run felt in Equalizer.
Right here with Mike Wine, his first ride in the Equalizer. What did it feel like?
It was totally different. We have a leaf spring suspension underneath our truck. He has a coil spring suspension. But ours, you sit in it and the truck sits straight. It doesn't move until you land or bounce. This one here, you just turn the wheel, or even going over cars, it just floats back and forth. It's a weird feeling to get used to.
So you're going to come out a little bit harder next round?
Yeah, next round. I'm used to it now. It's time to run it.
That time is here. Mike Wine now in the Equalizer against Steve Wilkie, USA 1. And look out at the end of the track. Wilkie comes over, but your winner is the Equalizer. Mike Wine gets the victory. Wow, look at this run as USA 1 at the end of the track almost took the Equalizer out. We thought they were going to take it easy. Both these drivers giving it everything they got for the victory, and even with two-wheel drive, Equalizer able to get a win. And look, there was contact.
Mike Wine, what you're doing right now is kind of like going to your high school prom, but you got to wear your buddy's best shoes if you're going to dance. You look great out there.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like I've never danced before in my life, so I'm learning how to dance all over again. Our motor, we blew it up last weekend. We took 2 rods and pistons right out through the oil pan. Equalizer had trouble with their truck, worked on it all night long. He come up to me this morning. I had my truck all loaded up, and I come just to watch the race. It's the only reason I even came. And he wanted to know if I'd be able to run it for him. We're only running 2-wheel drive, and I've never been in a truck in my life. It really feels weird, you know, at first, but I'm not going to let USA 1 or anybody intimidate me. I don't care what I drive. I run it hard, and I run it the best I can.
Speaking of intimidation, 2 of the most intimidating trucks on the tour today. Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, now virtually a phenomenon. The most popular monster truck in the world and one of the most popular figures in all of motorsports today. Anderson out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, formerly ran his shop in Chesapeake, Virginia, and he's got a lot of friends who came to see him in Roanoke. The Gravedigger is ready to go against the Carolina Crusher. Gary Porter out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, maybe the most consistent truck in the sport today. The runner-up for the World Championship a year ago. His truck really antiquated by 1990 standards with the new Bigfoot, the Equalizer suspension, but all Porter does is keep winning. And here today, he puts away Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Carolina Crusher trying to get himself another victory, make it 2 in a row in Roanoke, and you can see here, he's got the Gravedigger covered. We'll be right back with more action on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. The Buffalo Tremor next up. Johnny Kwasniewski takes on the Texas Awesome Kong and gives the victory to Steve Kane as both trucks really dig in hard on the nose. A wild run. Let's watch it again. Look at the Tremor get way up there. Johnny Kane pulls it down, but it's too late. Steve Kane's already beaten him in Awesome Kong. So Kong moves on. We'll see him again. But let's get a look. Kong on the left side of your screen as he comes right at you. Tremor almost went head over heels. The victory to Awesome Kong, and the Buffalo Tremor goes on the trailer. Clydesdale out against USA 1. Steve Wilkie comes back as a fast loser, and now will take on the Clydesdale Chevrolet of Bennett Clark out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Now, Wilkie already showed us this beaten and banged up truck is still going to go all out full tilt. Let's see what the Clydesdale can do with him here in Virginia. Bennett Clark has a very long wheelbase. Normally not as strong indoors as he is outdoors, but has been having a pretty decent winter. Let's see what he's got for USA 1 in side-by-side competition. easy win for the True Value USA 1 Chevrolet out of Ham Lake, Minnesota. Once again, we'll get a look at Steve Wilkie putting the power to Everett Jasmer's truck and adding a victory. So USA 1 will go to the semifinals. Now, Whiskey Business and Thunder Chicken were both disqualified in a first-round race. That's how USA 1 got back in, and Steve Wilkie is trying to take advantage of the reprisal.
You just might be one of these pressure guys. Is that the case? You just work best under pressure?
I don't know. I mean, we've had enough pressure put on us, and yeah, maybe it is. I'm pretty high-strung when I'm racing. I'm real intense, and if that's the case, then so be it.
You're still in it. We'll see you in that next round.
All right, thanks, Armin.
Well, USA 1 is not the only truck that comes back because of the fast loser rule due to all the problems at break-in. Gravedigger has another life. Dennis Anderson, his truck not performing at 100% capacity, but it is able to get back to the starting line, and that gives him a shot. His opponent, though, is a hard runner, one of the original Chevrolet monster trucks, Bobby Green, the Mad Dog Chevrolet out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Let's see if Anderson's got anything left as he takes on the Mad Dog. You can tell Dennis just not able to get off the starting line, and in a puff of Gravedigger smoke, the Mad Dog is the winner. Bob Green takes the victory. We're going to get another look at it as Dennis Anderson, unable to get any power generated at the start line, had to watch Mad Dog get the big lead and take a relatively easy win. Relatively easy because you know when you race the Gravedigger, it normally takes an all-out effort to beat him. But Dennis unable to get started, and Mad Dog gets the win. Bob Green getting out of his truck, and Army Armstrong's over there. He's going to talk to him. Army, it's all yours.
Stepping out of the Mad Dog right now. A guy that used to ride them on hardtail Harley motorcycles, and he's having a ball today in Roanoke. Everything's working your way, isn't it?
I love it, I tell you. I kind of took it easy the last few days. I knew it was a 3-day race, and I didn't want to break my equipment. I got one truck out there now getting welded on so I can get it on the trailer. And a lot of the fast trucks are broke today, and they're still breaking them. And mine's holding together real good. I'm pleased. I think I'm going to take her home with me today.
I'm confident Bob Green will be back in the semifinals. We're going to look now at Carolina Crusher and the Equalizer. This ought to be a matchup really that'll have the crowd excited. The Crusher, the defending runner-up for the World Championship, against the defending championship truck, the Equalizer. But his normal driver's not there. Mike Wine subbing for David Morris, who has left the Equalizer team, and the truck was banged up bad a week ago. You've got to figure Crusher has the advantage. They go side by side, the renewal of the rivalry, but this time it's all Carolina Crusher, although Mike Wine showed a lot of guts and a lot of sticking with it in a broken truck to give Crusher a run. The win has to go to Gary Porter. The moral victory has to go to Gary Cook, because on a day when his truck was broken, his driver left him, he still was able to come out with some points.
Well, Gary, you had the hot hand for about a year and a half here. We kind of looked like it wasn't going to work out for you today. Then this new driver comes into the picture. You're walking around here like a Cheshire cat. You got a grin from ear to ear.
Hey, just to get the thing back running after what we went through the last 2 nights, that's as good as winning a race. Because we won our own race just in getting the vehicle back out here. He's running without a front shaft, so he can't run flat out. The truck's not in any condition to. We're just tickled to death to have the truck back out running.
How about Mike? He's doing a real good job for you. He's listening to you and just... But he's doing, you know, you couldn't ask for any better. He keeps going round after round after round, and he's got to be helping for this World Championship points deal.
Yes, this is the reason we worked so hard this morning to get the truck back out. We'd like to have another championship.
Carolina Crusher gets a measure of revenge against his conqueror from 1989. Now we understand Porter has problems. Chris Chapman's with him in the pit.
Gary Porter just jumping out of the Carolina Crusher. Seem to be having some problems there, Gary.
Hey, the radiator's got a little leak in it. I'm losing a lot of water. The truck's running warm on me, and plus I have a bearing going bad in the transfer case, and I'm trying to get outside as fast as I can to check over everything to hope I can come back.
We'll let you get back to work.
Okay, thank you.
Douglas, Army Armstrong, and Chris Chapman back in Roanoke, Virginia. The semifinals. It's a Chevy convention, and the first two, it'll be Awesome Kong beating USA 1. Boy, a dandy race between Steve Kane and Steve Wilkie. Let's watch it again. The Texas truck, Awesome Kong, barely holding off the 1988 world champion USA 1. And now it's Carolina Crusher to square off with Mad Dog, two of the most consistent trucks on the tour. Gary Porter almost won a world championship a year ago, wants it bad this time around, and certainly is a player for the world title in 1990. Mad Dog, though, has been looking good today. Here we go. By a wheel length, Carolina Crusher has earned his way back into the Monster Smash Final. Let's look at it again. You can see Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher getting lots of air while Mad Dog stays to the cars, but Crusher has enough to hold on for the victory. So Gary Porter and Steve Kane are going to meet in the championship Monster Smash Final. One more time, we'll see how Porter got the victory over Bob Breen in the Mad Dog. Here's Porter right now.
Roanoke, Virginia, great city for you as far as points goes. You got one win here last week. You're going to the final today with this kid out of Texas. But I will be real upfront with you. He is not afraid of you. He thinks this is going to be his first win of the year.
He's running very strong, and the points, I got a real slow start off first of the year, and this weekend the points leaders that was in front of me have had some bad luck, and I've moved up, a lot in the points this weekend.
Okay, speaking of moving, I'll tell you something you don't know. You're going to be moving to the other side of that track. He's not going to let you get back in the lane you want. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I qualified in the left lane, and I got second qualifier, and I think I've ran it enough that I can take the win.
For the Monster Smash Final, you are looking at the unusual Chevrolet of Steve Kane, the Jeff Dane-owned truck out of Killeen, Texas. Kane, a popular and aggressive young driver. His opponent, a veteran, one of the best in the business, Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher from Wadesboro, North Carolina. Two of the top trucks in the world today. These guys can run with anybody, anywhere, and they are sure battling for that world championship in 1990. This is a key race, and it's showtime. Carolina Crusher has been way up in the air all day. This time, he holds it nose to the ground and gets the win and barely gets it stopped in Roanoke, Virginia. Let's look at the Monster Smash Final once again. You'll see how close it is, and you'll see how Gary Porter completely changed his style this time around. Holding the nose to the ground, he barely beats Awesome Kong, and the end of the run was just as wild as Porter barely got it shut down. He hit the hay bales at the end of the track. Let's take a look at him coming right at you. On your right, Carolina Crusher. And look, there's the difference. Kong came over the hill crooked. He had to correct, and that small correction was enough to give Porter a big, big victory.
Actions speak louder than words, and Gary Porter came to Roanoke, Virginia, down a little bit on his luck, but you're going out of here with a whole lot of points. After 3 great weeks, you've got 2 wins with this thing. You're definitely battling for this points lead now.
Thank you. The truck, was built last year, and it's really, an old design, and I'm really not expecting to do as well as I am on the circuit.
Let's talk about the final run. You knew this kid from Texas was not going to give you anything at all. He was in the lane he wanted to be in. You were where you wanted to be, but the wall was a whole lot closer than either one of you wanted, I believe.
It was. I knew I was going to have to push the truck as hard as I could, and I thought a lot about the rear end coming up like it did, and I was sort of expecting the truck to act the way it did, and I thought I was going to hit the wall.
We're still having fun, though, aren't we?
We are.
The big smile of Gary Porter as his Carolina Crusher has got a victory for the 2nd week in a row from Roanoke, Virginia here on ESPN. Let's look at it again. Carolina Crusher knocks off Awesome Kong. For Army Armstrong and Chris Chapman, I'm Scott Douglas. That'll do it this time around on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge.